Hi, welcome to the BoshNRoll channel. I'm your host, Brian Koval. Before we get started, make sure to hit those like and subscribe buttons. If you want to see me play your favorite deck or your spicy brew on the channel, I take donation deck lists. I'll do a deck tech, play a full Magic Online League, and help tune your list. If that sounds good, check out my contact info. It's in the video description below. Now let's go play some Magic. Welcome to another BoshNRoll video. Today I'm playing Modern, and this is Grixis Ninjas from subscriber Takeon. So Takeon sent me this list because I've had some success lately with Legacy Ninjas, and they wanted to see if it could work in Modern. So you can see the core package of Ornithopter and Changeling Outcast being your turn 1 attackers that can enable a turn 2 ninja. Ingenious Infiltrator is still in the format, but we've lost Yuriko, the Tiger Shadow, who is the other major ninja payoff for the Legacy deck. And we've also lost Retrofitter Foundry, which is a way to turn your Ornithopters and Changeling Outcasts into 4/4s when you're done triggering ninjutsu off of them. So there's two huge losses due to the card pool that we got to figure out. This is the original list that Takeon sent me. It's got some cute cards in it, like one Ancestral Vision, which you can refire off of Dreadhorde Arcanist. It's got a Witch's Cottage that you could Thought Scour yourself, rebuy some stuff. But the ninjutsu package is already cute. Like, you may not think of it that way because it's an established archetype in Legacy, but using Ornithopter, which is not a particularly useful game piece, this is not a good card unless it has a lot of support around it, to turn on ninjutsu on turn 2 is already cute. So we don't have a whole lot of room for additional cuteness. So I'm going to move over to my updated list. Here is my build. So I've gotten rid of the cuter cards like the Witch's Cottage, the Graven Cairns, the Ancestral Vision, and I added another land for starters. There were only 18 lands in Takeon's build, and I'm up to 19 now. For reference, the Fairy Ninjas deck that I 5-0'd with a few weeks ago on the channel had 24 lands. So 19 is pretty slim. These are different decks, of course. That deck is trying to cast Cryptic Command, and this one isn't. So it's a different style. We are a lot lower to the ground here. But I add an extra land. The Ornithopter and Changeling Outcast, I went on a deep look of cards that are legal in Modern that could pay this off. I looked at every card in Modern that says Thopter on it. I looked at every card in Modern that says Sacrifice a Creature on it, which was a long list, by the way. And the best thing I could come up with was Village Rites. And just as a one-of, this isn't a card you want a bunch of, but you just having one to turn Ornithopter into 2 cards, Dreadhorde Arcanist can refire it. Like, there's uses here. Village Rites was the best I could do. There's cards like Shrapnel Blast that could turn Ornithopter into 5 damage, but they don't do anything with Changeling Outcast. So Village Rites kind of split the difference of being an efficient medium card that Dreadhorde Arcanist can use that can work with Ornithopter or Changeling Outcast. So change those up a bit. I cut the Spell Pierces for more discard and removal. Bloodchief Thirst was very good in the last Blue-Black Ninjas deck I played, so I want one of those. Inquisition of Kozilek. I think that tapping out ahead of time to clear their hand or check their hand for answers, then getting a ninja in, is a better plan than trying to leave up Spell Pierce in this deck that's trying to curve out. So that's where I went with that. Left the Dreadhorde Arcanist. So when I was looking at the card pool, really Dreadhorde Arcanist is the only reason to beat Grixis. Like, I think blue-black, just straight blue-black, would give you a lot of options. It would free up a lot of deck space. And I think that even Bug, you would get Ice Fang Coatl, and that would be a pretty cool card to enable ninjutsu with. But Dreadhorde Arcanist is a powerful card. It is a reason to be in a color, so we're playing the red version today. The sideboard had a lot of graveyard hate. I basically replaced it with land hate, and Ashiok doubles as both. So Ashiok, Blood Moon are in the board. Got a Braids for some upgraded removal. And I turned the Commandeers into Force of Negation because this deck doesn't have that many blue cards, all things considered. There's 4, 8, 12, 16. There's 17 blue cards in this deck. And pitching 2 of them to a counterspell is unlikely to happen. So I changed them into Force of Negation.
and left the Aether Gust and got a Ceremonious Rejection in there. So just cleaned up the sideboard a little bit. And this is the plan. I am hoping that we're able to close out games. Yuriko the Tiger Shadow in the Legacy version does a lot of work towards ending games, like flipping Force of Wills off the top of your deck to dome your opponent for 5 at a time. Like, that is a big part of the Legacy game plan. And this deck is mostly beating with 2/2s. But I added a second Fallen Shinobi for some thickness at the top end. And I'm going to hope that that can get the job done when we start Mind's Desiring off the opponent's deck. That should end a game. But let's see if this lines up. It'll just be a matter of, do our Ornithopters do enough work? And can we actually close out the game? Because the middle of the curve is pretty comparable to the Legacy build. But let's check it out. Only one way to find out. Okay, we're on the play in round 1. I actually think this hand is great. We have a turn 2 Ninja of the Deep Hours, or we can pivot into Dreadhorde Arcanist if we need to. So I'm going to shock in Watery Grave for the Changeling Outcast, and then we have the basic Mountain for the rest of the hand. For only having 7 cards in the main deck, this is a very red hand. But I think that's okay. Our opponent should know immediately what we're up to. There's only one reason to put Changeling Outcast in a constructed deck. Forests are generally not very good at removing Changeling Outcast. So I am gonna get my Ninja in. I think there might be a strong argument to just getting Dreadhorde Arcanist in, but the fact that I can back up this Ninja with Lightning Bolt and keep pressure moving forward is pretty exciting to me. And I really want to hit my land drops where drawing an extra card matters a lot. Strangleroot Geist. Please attack. Alright. Alright, they're not afraid of a race. Alright, I'll give myself another chance to hit this land drop. Didn't get there. So I can opt. I think I'm going to opt looking for the land. And then play Dreadhorde Arcanist if I find it. Alright, we're already getting punished by the 19 lands in the deck. Remember I mentioned that's an important thing. I also just missed a chance to Lightning Bolt Cling to Dust. But alright. Yeah, 19 lands is a legacy mana base, and Opt and Thoughtscour are not Brainstorm and Ponder, not even close. So I'm going to attack with my Ninja. I'm pretty comfortable trading off a Lightning Bolt for a Steel Leaf Champion. I've seen a lot of extra cards this game with no love so far. Alright, deal. I'll finish that off with Lightning Bolt. So I can Thoughtscour myself. I could Thoughtscour, yeah. Or I could just play the Outcast. I could also Cling to Dust. I think I should Thoughtscour. Still no lands. Alright, this deck needs more lands. We're already running into a huge problem here. I mean, only finding 2 lands out of 17 cards is pretty unlikely. But at the same time, the deck is built this way. Oh my god. Dryad Militant. That card doesn't have text in a whole lot of matchups anymore, but this is one of them. Oh, Sweet Relief. Does it do anything? I'm going to play Dreadhorde Arcanist. And I can Cling to Dust to gain 3 life, but if I do that, I have to shock in, so I gain 1 life, and it's gone forever because of Militant. 5. I think I should. 5, 6, 7. God, they still have 3 cards in their hand. That's so many. I'm just going to play this tapped. Oh, I should have played it untapped so I can block Strangleroot Geist and exile it in response to Undying. That would have been worth a lot more than 1 life. Whoops. Alright. Also, now knowing what the matchup is, I think leading on Dreadhorde Arcanist would have been a lot better. Just get to flashback those bolts. 5, 6, 7. Alright, well, I'll block the Militant, and I'm dead to Aspect of Hydra. Alright, they didn't have the Hydra. Hail Hydra. Oh no. Come on. Alright, now I'm dead. So I need to draw like a removal spell up front. I could also just, if I don't attack, I'm just dead to this thing. Alright, yeah. Scavenging Ooze was the perfect check there. Alright, time to bring in all my removal. So ninjas are trying to be tricksy and get under what other decks are doing, but a deck like Mono Green Stompy that's just like woof, 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 fat creature, fat creature, fat creature. It doesn't line up so well. Obviously missing most of my land drops was a huge punish that game, but we can't blame too much on that. They did just have bigger creatures going into the mid game. I don't think Cling to Dust is what I want. Thoughtseize, I think, is still fine. Brazen Borrower is good. Plague Engineer just having Death Touch, but it can't block the Steel Leaf Champion anyway. So maybe that's not that good. And maybe I can shave on Thoughtseizes. And as weird as, like, I would never board out an Ornithopter in the Legacy build, but I think I might have to in this build. They probably have Dungrove Elder, which is a reason to want Death Touch in the deck. Lightning Bolt's great, Fatal Push great. Obviously all those cards are super important. Maybe I'm just going super low on Ornithopter. And Fallen Shinobi is kind of expensive on these 19 lands. Alright, do I need the Engineers? That's the last test here. Is Engineer better than a Braid? I don't think so. Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm not convinced a Braid is really great because all their creatures are really durable. But I do need ways to buy time. Well, we have another turn 2 ninja. Let's see if this one works out better. I have a million lands this time. Relatively pain-free mana base to start if I choose to. Like, I can fetch basic island, I'm just not sure if that matters at all. If I fetch basic now, or I could just fetch Steam Vents now and just get set up with everything. That's better. Alright, these are the sort of hands where having a low land count is great, because I have so many in my hand already that it's significantly less likely that I flood out. Alright, there's the Infiltrator. So next turn I can bolt something, recast Changeling, and fetch Pain-Free. See if they just want to ranch for 4. Then I can bolt Pelt Collector and draw another card. Strangleroot Geist is a serious beating. It always has been. I actually played a lot of Green Stompy in my day. a few years ago, there was a PPTQ season where I played Green Stompy and top 8'd like 4 or 5 events with it. The reason it was so good in that format was because Grixis couldn't beat it, which seems to still be the case. All right, let's get this in. Play this fetch land. I could bolt Pellet Collector now. Though, if they have a Scavenging Ooze, I'm gonna wish I didn't do that. Alright, I'll wait for them, see if they have the Steel Leaf Champion. If they tap out for it, I'll probably still just bolt Pellet Collector. And if they go for some kind of pump spell, then I can respond to it. And if they want to just clock, I can go face. Oh, the old second main Steel Leaf Champion. Not bad. Got the hell out of me. So I'm going to scour myself. Where's this bolt going to go? Maybe I just don't bolt. Like, Steel Leaf Champion is still the scarier card here. Ooh. That changes something. What does it change? So I can... Alright, blue-black, blue-red. If I bounce this, bolt this, I can get in for 3 and draw a card. Yeah, I want to petty theft this. Let's see, 4, 5, 6. I can go to 2 if I want to draw 3 cards this turn instead of 1. Can I win the game from 2 life, though? Maybe. So I draw 3 and I go to 2. Dead to a haste creature, but I think drawing 3 cards and filling up my hand with removal is a better plan to actually win this game. Like, I could play to not lose or I could play to win. Ingenious Infiltrator is draw a card for each ninja that deals combat damage. Alright, that's what I was looking for, trying to load up my hand with removal spells. Well, I'm going to be at 2, so I guess I can discard these shock lands. I'm dead to like Aspect of Hydra or pump spells in general. I don't think they're going to be able to pump Pellet Collector 3 times. Oh, Questing Beast. Yep, 4, 8, 9, 10. That'll do. Okay, yeah. The line I took was dead to a haste creature, and that is what it is, but look at this next turn. Like, I just clear their entire board, and I draw 3 more cards. If they don't have exactly haste creature, that's bigger than Pellet Collector. So, I mean, I don't know how many Questing Beasts they play, but I think I took the line that was playing to win. I think if I, like, bolt Pellet Collector, bounce the other thing, draw 1 card, I'm still losing this game. So, I don't regret that line, even though we did lose. Next round. I'm on the play again in round 2 with a very different looking hand. I'm going to keep this. This is the type of hand that makes a ninja draw. Like, Dreadhorde Arcanist still plays with a ninja, but this is the type of hand where if you draw Ornithopter or Changeling Outcast, basically at any point you're going to be pretty disappointed. Ooh, mauling to 5. That's a good hand to have 2 Thoughtseizes against. See what they're doing over there. I'm going to shock in because I'm going to shock in to play the op next turn anyway, so I might as well just take my damage now. Shark Typhoon, Cryptic Command, Drown in the locked Field of Ruin. This is not where you want to be. Hopefully I can get this Dreadhorde Arcanist into play next turn, if I find the red source. That would absolutely bury this hand that they've kept. Alright, didn't get there. I'm gonna take a look. Don't need more swamps. Ooh, okay. Yeah, I'm gonna get Outcast set up here. And they can cycle Shark Typhoon just with making a 0/0 Shark next turn just to see another card. If they do that, they'll have to do it in response to Thoughtseize, or else they lose the cycle. So either way, they lose the card. Unless it's a land. It does get them a little closer to more lands, which is pretty important. Ooh, nice. Finding the red source, huge game there. Shark Typhoon, Cryptic Command, and Into the Story. 7 or more cards in my graveyard. Yeah, I'm just gonna take this Shark Typhoon. And then I'm gonna use Dreadhorde Arcanist to make sure that I never have that many cards in my graveyard. No ninja, no problem. Another Field of Ruin. No black mana yet. I guess they can activate Field, destroying my Watery Grave to get a swamp. I should opt before... nope. I messed that up. So I can opt from the graveyard. I should have played my land so I could opt twice. And have 2 hits to find a ninja. Oh, got one anyway. Rewarded. Nice. This is my happy place. Dreadhorde Arcanist alongside Ninja of the Deep Hours at last. Best of friends. Alright, I don't think my life total is going to be super important, so I'm just going to shock in the Watery Grave so I can opt. I'm surprised they didn't activate Field. It's like they don't even want black mana. Now they can't cast the Cryptic Command either. So Arcanist is probably due for a Thoughtseize over opt here. Yeah, Thoughtseize. Just want to make sure they don't get into this game. They mulled to 5 and I've cast 3 Thoughtseizes. That's where I want to be. I even have Fatal Push if they drew Shark Typhoon. And I'm going to take a Cryptic, because I'm really not going to have 7 cards in my graveyard this game. Not with Arcanist going to work. So this is what I was talking about in the deck tech of hoping that the deck has closing power. Like, we're definitely ahead here. We're ahead on cards, ahead on board, ahead on life. But all of that doesn't matter if they get stable because I'm only dealing 4 a turn. Alright, so now they're doing this. Let's see if they get black or blue. Alright, they got the blue, so they want to cast their Cryptic in their hand. For sure. They can start stringing together some tap draws. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, they're getting pretty close to just hard casting. Ooh. Alright, so they have to Cryptic in before combat if they don't want me to just Thoughtseize their Cryptic anyway. The Shinobi is ready to Shinobi. I don't apologize for that. Alright. I could just cast Fallen Shinobi right now, but I don't want them to know what I've got. Let's keep some secrets. Like if I get to an attack step, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Alright, they're one away from Into the Story with one mystery card in their hand. If I get to my attack step and I can Thoughtseize them and then Shinobi them, we're in Insano Town. So now I actually get to Shinobi them and infiltrate them. This is messed up. I'm gonna draw 4 cards and Mind's Desire them for 2. Let's take that story. Oh no, they have something. The Shark Typhoon. That's what it looks like. Alright. So they got a Shark Typhoon. I didn't play my land drop before combat, so I'm not going to be able to double ninja. I am more worried about Into the Story than Shark Typhoon, I think. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, that's not even true. If they have to spend a whole turn casting Into the Story, where I just get to keep attacking. Yeah, now I'm looking silly for not playing that land drop. Oh, did I played the wrong one. Come on, deck. Alright, I just clicked on the wrong one too. Just okay, it's fine. It's fine. We got this. Okay, so I can deploy. I have another swamp. Alright, yeah, that turn was a comedy of errors. But let's get it done. They should be at 4 life with, and I should have 2 spells in exile, but no worries. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Even if they Field of Ruin me, that's only 6. If they drew like Fatal Push, okay, they didn't. So all they have is Into the Story and they're dead on board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, just literally on board. I don't even need to Fallen Shinobi them. Unless they have 0 mana spells in their deck. Okay. Got away with that one. Dreadhorde Arcanist, though. What's up? So this might be a Force of Negation matchup. This would definitely be a Spell Pierce matchup if I still had them in the deck, but I don't. We saw sharks and blue spells, basically. We saw a number of basic lands, so I'm not going to try to Blood Moon them. Cling to Dust Cling to Dust controls Into the Story pretty well, so I do like that. I think I just want the forces. I could bring in 1 surgical, but I don't think that's correct or important. Yeah, I think I just want the 2 forces. So I think that Bloodchief's Thirst, being a sorcery, is a lot worse than Fatal Push for a shark. And Lightning Bolt is not going to be super important for this matchup either. So forces are in. I could bring in the second Cling just to make sure they never go Into the Story. Shave a Bolt for that or an Ornithopter. I think an Ornithopter. This is not a matchup where you can afford dead draws. So if I'm going to be shaving Ornithopters this often out of the sideboard, maybe the deck shouldn't play 4 of them. Or maybe it's fine to just maximize your Ninja plan game 1 and then do something a little different in game 2. I would believe that. If you have strong thoughts on that, let me know in the comments. But should I keep this hand to cast 2 spells? Alright, I will keep this one. On the strength of drawing a blue source in my first 2 turns. Come on, deck, help me out here. There are only 18 more lands in the deck, like we've discussed. This deck does need some more lands in it. Let's at least scare them. Fear my 2 enablers. They're over there with their Fatal Push, like, oh no. But Fatal Push can also just kill Ingenious Infiltrator. Also, I added this second basic swamp to the deck when I added Blood Moon to the deck, and this could just be like Steam Vents or a fetch land. And maybe I should just be building the deck with 1 basic swamp that I can fetch into before a Blood Moon. Right, the Thoughtscour U is a sign that Drown in the Loch is coming. Bummer. Alright. I deserve that. So, last game we had a non-game in my favor. They mulled to 5 and got Thoughtseize 3 times. This time, I kept a hand that needs blue. I haven't found it in 2 draw steps. But, I mean, it's never too late. Easy game. So I attack with these 2. They could remove Infiltrator, but it's kind of hard to remove when they can't turn on Revolt. I'm not even close to this being drownable. I'm gonna draw 2 if this connects. And I'm gonna keep the party going if it doesn't. Like, my hand is well set up to make the same play every turn. And you can't counter this. Oh, you can, but you need a Stifle. You don't need a counter spell. And Stifles are not generally played in Modern, because they all cost a lot of mana. The 1 mana version only exists in Legacy. Alright, let's see. Did we get through? If they could just Fatal Push the Outcast to stop one of the draws. If it is Fatal Push that they have, or Drown, or not, they could just let me have all the cards. Not mad about that. Alright, we broke through, missing that initial land drop. They could just be like pivoting into a Damnation, which is fine because I'm ready to reload on that too. So 3 lands. They just haven't done anything since their Thoughtscour. Wow, they didn't do anything again. So I'm not going to go for Fallen Shinobi. I might go for a second Infiltrator. Okay, they have Drown in the Loch. That's what that means. And they have to cast it now, because if we go into blocks, I can pick up this ninja with a different ninja and protect it. Okay, so we go into blocks. Now I think I will Fallen Shinobi them. Now that I know the coast is clear. Do I need... Watery Grave. I have a lot of black. I can get a basic. I could also ninjutsu both of these for Ingenious Infiltrators and draw a bunch of cards. I actually think that sounds a lot better. Backup Ninja. And backup Ninja. So each of these will see each other. We draw 4. That's pretty good against the blue-black control deck that just missed a land drop. Found the Village Rites to go with the Ornithopter, just like we drew it up. Don't have to discard to hand size because I have these 2 zeros I can play. Wow, this deck is perfectly built. Who needs more lands? And this is the upside I was playing to when I kept that hand that couldn't make ninjas, but I had 2 draw steps to hit a blue source and just go off, and the third one could still, wasn't too late. Now I can counter Cryptic Command, and they're just getting buried. Do I even want to counter Cryptic Command, I guess is the question. I guess I should. I guess I don't really need to. Like, if they're just gonna, like, tap draw, I can add to my board and use Force of Negation on a Damnation or an Into the Story or something that's more important later. So tap draw, yeah, I'm actually fine with that. So I can play my Outcast. Or I think Dreadhorde Arcanist is better. I can play Arcanist. Okay. I gotta figure this out now, because I was thinking that I had to leave up Force of Negation, but on their turn I don't, because I can just pitch for it. So that changes how I tap my mana. Arcanist. And I'm gonna play Outcast. And now I'm holding up Force, and I can Village Rites. This is strong. I think it's safe to say. Pretty reasonable situation we got here. There are 6 cards in my graveyard, so they're 1 away from going into a story, and they can Field of Ruin to put me into the story, but them drawing 4 cards here isn't what they need. They need to impact the board. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and they're exactly dead on board with the Lightning Bolt in my graveyard. I think I'm gonna Rites in the end step. Just cash in one of these Thopters. Because if they want to counter and fight over that in their end step, that's mana they don't have on their turn. I'll float blue. And there is 1 basic left in my deck. Me and my basic heavy mana bases, I just love them so much. Alright, I can Village Rites that since it's gonna die anyway. That leaves my enablers in for these ninjas in my hand. So if they have like Spell Pierce or Flusterstorm, Flusterstorm is a card people frequently forget is legal in Modern. Okay, do I have lethal? Well, they just tapped out, so 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, yeah. Look at this legacy stack we have put together in this Modern game. Big fan. The Rites. So Dreadhorde can flashback Lightning Bolt. Guess I could have pitched a Fallen Shinobi and cast that opt. If they have a third Fatal Push in their hand, then that's pretty solid. Alright, shock this in. And then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I'm actually ninja in all of these things. Not all of them. I can do the Deep Hours and the Fallen Shinobi. Yeah, I want to bolt them. Just in case they have removal, I want to make sure that this damage is good. Alright, they're just backing it up. Alright. Ninja's too strong. We're on the play again. It's pretty nice that we're 3 for 3 on die rolls in this tempo deck. I'm going to keep this. And I'm going to opt. Because I think that getting this Arcanist in on time is going to be more important than curving into a ninja and just hoping for the best. Well, I've done what I can to hit my second land drop, other than build the deck with more lands in it, but that ship has sailed. What do you think the chances are that this Luris deck has more lands in it than I do? They're probably pretty good, honestly. But, well, Thoughtseize hurts, but I bet that it will save me some damage in the long run. Abbot, Swift Spear. Yeah, I think Swift Spear will do more than 2 damage over the course of the game. But missing your land drop, especially against Luris Burn here, is a big problem. So do they just Manamorpho? Oh, what? Oh no. That was a good draw. Would have enjoyed taking that out of their hand. Alright, so if I find a land this time, I can get a pretty big tempo blowout with Brazen Borrower. I didn't. So I'm going to strip a Manamorphose here. Alright, well, let's do the math. So, 1 damage, 4, 7, 10, versus taking the creature. Yeah, they have enough creatures. I'm taking a Manamorphose. Yep, this is a bad one to miss your land drop against. I think that if I hit the second land, this game would have been pretty easy, because they don't have any removal for my creatures, and Dreadhorde Arcanist could have strung together the Inquisition, Brazen Borrower, blowing this thing out after they spend all their resources pumping it. Pretty big deal. Yeah, that went poorly. More lands. Hopefully they miss on this Abbot. Nope, they hit the land. That was the best thing they could hit. So, am I taking 4 or 7? Oh, way more than that. Alright, I can't win this game. Alright, so they have a bunch of zeros in the deck, so Abbot's better than normal. Okay, there's that. Right, Aether Gust is coming in, Abrade's coming in. I could bring in Plague Engineer and name Human. I think Swift Spear, Abbot, and Soulstar Mage are all humans. So what's not so good? I don't really want these Thoughtseizes in the deck. They will generally save more life than they deal to you, but they're still a liability. Cling to Dust gains life. Here go the Ornithopters again. Fallen Shinobi might be a little slow for this matchup. I don't think that's what we're going to be playing around. I want to leave 1 in because it's just such a banger. And I don't register a deck like this, so I don't play Fallen Shinobi. No way. Alright, I don't think I need both Plague Engineers. I might want the second Cling to Dust, because gaining 3 life matters a lot. That could be important. I have all this removal now. Alright, nope, off it. Force of Negation, there might be some interest in that. It's just, I'm out of things I want to cut. Alright, 2 lands, please. This is that same hand again, the 1 land opt hand. Could I be punished by it twice? Because this hand's pretty good without it. I'm gonna keep. I've learned nothing. But, like, seriously, like, 1 and 3 cards in the deck is a land, and I get a draw step plus opt that sees 3 cards. Like, the probability is there that I hit the land, and if I miss, like, that's fine, but, like, going to 6 when I don't really have to, I don't love. And this hand is good. Like, it has opt and lightning bolt in it. Those are both good cards. Specifically for the matchup, too. So, I'm going to fetch a Steam Vents and take my medicine. Yes. Try to opt first. Uh-oh. Well, here we are again. It's fine. It's fine. And obviously, I would like to have this Dreadhorde Arcanist locked in for next turn, but I don't. This Lumimancer. I feel like there should be an N somewhere in there. Lumimancer. Just sounds like I'm a little kid who doesn't know how to talk. Well, I'm a little kid who doesn't know how to mulligan, it seems. I know this dead horse is sufficiently beaten, but this deck needs a higher land count. Probably at least 21 lands. Like, at least 2 more in here. This is no way to go. We're gonna die to prowess with a handful of removal. Oh, didn't even attack with Lumimancer. That's also a human. I'm looking at my 3-drop like, ooh, I'm gonna blow them out. Like, no, I'm not. Settle down. I got nothing. Alright. Okay, should have mulliganed. Like, I don't know, like, I don't want to be results-oriented. Like, I feel like the reasonable math states that this wouldn't have happened twice in a row. Like, look at this. We're 15 cards into the deck with 1 land, and there's 1 and 3 cards in the deck as a land. So, like, reasonable distribution, there should be 4 or 5 lands in these cards we're looking at, and we just kind of got unlucky. But also, in the London Mulligan world, you don't really need to keep sketchy 7s. Like, so I definitely should have mulliganed, but also that was unlucky at the same time. But a mulligan would have fixed that, or at least given us more outs to it. Well, here we are again. I don't even have the op this time. I'm going to learn my lesson in mulligan. Okay, rewarded, kind of. I'm going to ship the basic island. I can fetch that if I need it. I don't have an enabler for this ninja, but I have some interactive plays, and there's a chance, depending on the matchup, that this just being a 4-mana 2/2 is fine. I don't know. We'll see how it goes. That was a tempting 1-lander, though. It had the turn 2 ninja. Oh, Copperline Gorge. Great. This is not a match I can win game 1. Game 2 is not much better. And I have Surgicals and Ashioks, so, like, there is a game to play. But Copperline Gorge is a broken land in Modern. which is funny to say because it's just like gruel. But like that's comparable to seeing like Ancient Tomb in Legacy. Silver Smoked Ghoul. Alright, that'll be back anytime now. No Dredger yet. Narcomoeba, and I can't tell what's behind it, Life from Loam. Alright, so they do have a Dredge card now. Gone through 2 Narcomoebas already. Alright, their Dredge card found another Dredge card. If they have the Cathartic Reunion or whatever. The new Strixhaven one that gains life. I'm gonna get exploded upon. Yeah. Discard 2, draw 3. We know there's at least 1 Dredger in the hand. Alright, there were 3. Splat. Splat. Creeping Chill brings back Silver Smoke Ghoul, which brings back the prized amalgams. Yeah, I can't win this game 1. Which is why you play Dredge. You just win all the game 1s. Alright, so Ashiok, Cling to Dust, Surgical Extraction. Force of Negation seems pretty important. Just hitting that Cathartic Reunion or whatever variant they choose to play. Plague Engineer could name... I should look up real quick what Silver Smoke Ghoul is. If it's a zombie, then that's an X1 that this card answers. Silver Smoke Ghoul is a zombie vampire. Alright, so this can answer Silver Smoke Ghouls and shrink prized amalgams. Like, is that important? This is in like the second tier. The first tier is the graveyard hate cards, the second tier is Force of Negation, and then the third tier is Plague Engineer. I don't think Brazen Borrower is for this matchup. Fallen Shinobi doesn't really matter. Like, I'm gonna win this game or I'm not. A 5/4 is not gonna change the math. And discard spells on the play aren't the worst. They're not great on the draw. Having some removal is good. But Bloodchief Thirst is the least efficient of the removal. Yeah, I think I want all of the discard spells on the play. The Lightning Bolts can clear the way out for blockers. Clearing blockers out of the way to keep pounding with ninjas is essential to the plan of winning the game. The Clings are good. Fatal Push, fine. I think I actually want one more Fallen Shinobi still in the deck. Just having some beef to close it out never hurts. This is a mulligan. This is also a mulligan. These hands are bad even with 2 lands. This one actually would have been fine with 2 lands. Or even a swamp, maybe I keep this hand. But this is a mulligan as is. Haven't seen a hate card yet. Right, so they're on 6 as well. This hand at least functions, so I'm going to keep it. I'm going to bottom Lightning Bolt. And I think Mountain. Like, I think Village Rites has more play to it than basic Mountain does. Obviously, it needs some setup. Alright, you're on 6. What can we take here? They had Cathartic Reunion and Thrilling Discovery. That sucks. I'm going to take the Reunion. Or is that the right one to take? Because that's an additional cost. Discard 2 cards. Yeah, I'm going to take Reunion. Because they want to discard cards. Like, the difference between Thrilling Discovery and Cathartic Reunion is that if this resolves, you may discard 2 cards. And if you do, draw 3 cards. This discarding 2 is part of the cost. And I don't play counterspells anyway, but they don't need to know that. Infiltrator. So I'm going to fetch a Steam Vents. and Thought Scour myself with the Steam Vents, leaving up black, hoping to find another discard spell. Close. So they're going to get to Thrilling Discovery for a lot this turn. Tried so hard. Yeah, having the multiple payoffs and a multi 5 is pretty strong. There's 3 Narcomoebas. And a Creeping Chill. There's no Ghoul here. There is a Bloodghast. Alright, so I need to get my Infiltrator in, draw my extra card, and then hope they brick next turn and find Ashiok. Alright, Cling to Dust. What do you do? I could exile Bloodghast. I could also exile... I could exile nothing. Yeah, I think this Infiltrator needs to be in play. Come on, land. As usual, just need more lands. Oh, that's the wrong one. But it's still a land. Really needed a swamp there. They found a second Bloodghast. Oh, they shocked that in. When did they get a spell? Haven't they dredged all their draw steps since the last time I saw their hand? Okay. Alright, yeah, that's what I thought. They had one mystery draw step since the last time I saw their hand, and that was the Sacred Foundry. So... Stinkweed Imp has, like, fake Death Touch, a kind of Death Touch. Found Opt. Swamp is exactly what I was looking for. Now I have an unblockable ninja that can keep the cards coming. And I can Cling to Dust the Thug right now to gain 3 life, and then they don't have a... Well, Loam is a Dredger. I'm gonna exile Thug, though, because I think life is more important than cards right now. Which is not something I normally say. Normally I'm like, life is for suckers. Let's draw cards. 3, 4, 5, 6. I take 6. I block a Bloodghast. Everything turning sideways. There's no Conflagrate in the graveyard right now. They can cast Loam, pick up 3 lands, trigger their Bloodghast. They have Loam and all the same cards they had last turn in their hand right now. They shocked that in. That makes me nervous. Oh, they found an Amalgam. Didn't see that one. Yeah, this matchup sucks. Takion's original list did have a bunch of ley lines in it, which might be right. Like, I tried to split the difference because I thought that I would play against more lands decks than dredge decks. And I still think that that is true, but it does, like, being generally safer against the format at large doesn't help when you're losing to dredge right now. This draws a card. Yeah, I don't play like Anger the Gods or anything. Oh, look who showed up now. Oh, village rights this away. Ninja, yeah, we're dead. Alright. Crushed. Yeah, this matchup's bad, and the way I built the sideboard isn't particularly well suited to fight it. And I'm 5 for 5 on die rolls, and I'm gonna keep this hand. Got 2 lands, all my colors, multiple 1-mana spells. I'm gonna lead on the Delta. In case there's some sort of aggressive deck where I need to bolt something on turn 1, I'm gonna be happy I did that, and I can cast Opt off of Steam Vents the same way I can off Waterloo Grave, so that doesn't really matter. Gilded Goose. What decks have Gilded Goose in them? I haven't seen that card since Oko got banned. Alright, so I'm gonna get the Steam Vents and cast Opt. I'm looking for a Ninja Enabler. The Outcast would be the best card. There it is. Outcast. I'm just gonna bolt this goose. I don't know what they're doing with it, but bolt the bird, right? Creature, bird. The same rules from Alpha still apply here. Like, being on the play, having this pretty strong tempo start, knocking off their mana goose seems like a good deal to me. Wall of Roots. Okay, they're a creature combo deck. Oh. Oh, this is the Yawgmoth deck, right? Yeah, probably. I think I just messed up. Yeah, I should have shocked in the Steam Vents and played Ninja the Deep Hours. That lets me redeploy the unblockable Ninja. Does it matter? I'm not sure. I guess I still have Ornithopter, so I can still do stuff. I don't know. Yeah, I think I messed that up, though. I think I'd rather have Ornithopter and Outcast in play, because I get the same 1 card this turn, and then I get a bunch of cards next turn if I just play my lands differently. Yeah, that could have been done better. Alright, so Ornithopter is currently unblockable. If they have a black source, they can play Yawgmoth this turn. Maybe they'll have nothing, and I'll feel really good about killing Goose. Undying. Yeah, so it's been quite some time, like probably since like shortly after Modern Horizon came out, that I saw the Yawgmoth deck in action. So it's been a while. I don't actually know how they're built currently, or what they do, or what I need to worry about. Like, I know they have insane value engines, but other than that, what are they up to? I do know I want to find some removal or discard pretty quick before they figure it out, though. So their play was Dryad Arbor Go. I edited out the dead time, but they thought about that for 2 or 3 minutes. Like, I have 23:10 on their clock, they have 21 on their clock. Like, they spent 2 full minutes thinking about Dryad Arbor Go. So they must be working on something over there. Second main haste creature. You love to see it. Do I need a land? Not really. Maybe I'm supposed to keep all the lands? Alright, rewarded. So I'm gonna get a basic swamp here. I have enough blue. I don't want to take damage that I don't have to take. I don't want to give them... they have an easy block on Wall of Roots, so Ingenious Infiltrator is just not attacking. It's also a 2/3 butt in front of these attackers. I get to draw 2 cards off the Ninja of the Deep Hours. So we'll start with that. If they have Abrupt Decay, they have Abrupt Decay. Not even sure if I care if they do have Abrupt Decay. Unclear. So I have to think about how I want to use my mana. I think I'm going to tap Basic Swamp, Steam Vents to Ninja in the Deep Hours. If I tap Steam Vents, then Lightning Bolt's not a live draw, but it does let me draw any of my black removal spells and still play the Outcast. Outcast being unblockable and keeping cards flowing is a pretty big deal here. But Dreadhorde Arcanist, there's a Lightning Bolt in the graveyard. So I think I should just leave up the maximum options by tapping Steam Vents, Basic Swamp, and then I have Watery Grave and Steam Vents still untapped. Injitsu, it can't Abrupt Decay this. Cling to Dust, that's actually really good. Like if they try to go for some Undying related combo, I can break it up. That would have been a reason to leave up double black. So I can just tap out and get my Arcanist back in. Or I can hold up Cling to Dust. This is where I wish I knew what this deck actually did. I should look up the actual text on Yawgmoth real quick. I know it like sacks things to draw cards and proliferate. Yawgmoth, Thran Physician, 2/4, protection from humans. So most of my ninjas are humans. Pay 1 life, sack another creature, put a -1 counter on up to 1 target creature, and draw a card. Okay, so there's no mana investment in that, and then black, discard a card, proliferate. So that doesn't matter. So pay 1 life, sack another creature, put a -1 counter on up to 1 target creature, and draw a card. So that is, if you sack Young Wolf, so you basically get to draw your deck. All right, I'm just gonna pass. I think I need the Cling to Dust available. Is this Chord of Calling for Yawgmoth? Yeah, that makes sense. Oh, nope, just for 3. So it's not Yawgmoth. I'm sure it's still bad for me, but it's not Yawgmoth. Okay, that is how they kill me, I guess. They don't have double black right now for the Yawg. Guess they could, now they have enough mana to chord for Yawg. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. They actually could have chorded for Yawg last turn if they minused Wall of Roots. Alright, they just minused Wall. Eldritch Evolution. Okay, so that's gonna get Yawg. And this is where I break up the Geralf's Messenger with Cling to Dust. But they can still like draw their deck. Like pay X life, draw X cards, basically. Just still dangerous. So I need to bring in Graveyard Hate against this deck. Okay. Put a -1 counter on target creature, draw a card. You got it. So I guess if they can, like, sack the Geist and the Young Wolf enough times to find Thoughtseize. I don't know. I've done what I can do. Did my best. Tried real hard. I could have tapped out and just died to this, but I didn't do that instead. So my meager format familiarity already paid off a little bit. And I still don't know if I can beat this just like draw engine. But I can continue representing Lightning Bolt. Ooh, Vidalcan Ninja. I thought this was a human. Nice. This one's definitely a human. I guess Fallen Shinobi's a zombie. Actually, only one of these is a human. Nice. Yuriko is a human, but she's not in this format. Alright, so... we keep... oh, they can shrink my creatures. Yeah, I guess that is a thing. They better do it again, because -1/1 is the same as 0/2 for all intents and purposes. Having the cling is pretty nice, though. That's just sitting in the graveyard, and I'm going to scour myself to feed it. So I can break up future Yawgmoth shenanigans as well. They finish off the Thopter, yeah. And then they can also attack for 3 if they want. Haste Undying. Undying is if it doesn't have a +1 counter on it. Do I trade off Ingenious Infiltrator if they attack? I think the answer is no way, Jose. Yeah, because they can just sack Dryad Arbor and make this smaller. I'll just take 3. I'm at 13. It's plenty of life to work with. And finding a Fatal Push would be a big deal. Or Bloodchief Thirst. So I want to play my basic island. Oh, this unblockable ninja actually just dies to Yawgmoth. It's also a human. Not that I think that's super important right now. If I attack with both of these... wow, Yawgmoth is unbeatable. This card is so good. Alright, I am going to make them... it's going to cost them a creature now to mess up my Changeling. Because all of their Undying creatures have +1 counters on them right now, and they would need to like sack a different creature to put a -1 counter onto a wolf. Do I not understand how this works, or did they mess up somewhere? Pay 1 life, sack another creature, put a -1 counter on up to 1 target creature, and draw a card. So if they paid 1 life, sacked the young wolf before they sacked the Sacred Geist, so wolf comes back. Then they sack Geist, put a -1 counter on Wolf, Geist comes back, then they sack Wolf. Yeah, there is a draw engine to draw your whole deck here. They just didn't use it. If they attack, I think I just block both their creatures. I can't just bleed out to this board like this. Yeah, they have me beat on board, and I'm not really pushing for damage, so I'm just going to line up the obvious blocks and let them have a strong combat. Because the combo is... there is a combo sitting here in play. This does a lot of damage. So they've activated Yogg. And I cling to dust this thing. One, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's out of here. My infiltrator dies. Oh, there's more. Loaded green. Oh, is that just to crack their food? They're gonna sack their Dryad Arbor to beat Ninja in combat. Okay. They don't care about beating Ninja in combat. They already have it eaten. Okay. So they have Yogg and Young Wolf and a bunch of cards in hand. Dreadhorde Arcanist, unfortunately, needs power to do anything. There is a basic swamp still in my deck. So I'll fetch it now. And play Arcanist. So Arcanist can block Young Wolf. They'll need another creature in play to mess that up. This game brought to you largely in part by Cling to Dust. Oh no, that doesn't matter. It's a creature they can sacrifice, but Cling to Dust, they can't redirect Cling to Dust to spell Skite, and that's my card that matters. Black, discard, proliferate. That could come up, I guess. And there are 9 cards in my graveyard at the moment. Alright, that's a lot of creatures they can sacrifice. But the Yogg's been drawing cards this whole time, so that's not a surprise. Ugh. That's what I didn't want to see. A fresh Undying creature. Yogg and Young Wolf. Oh, and Strangleroot Geist. Alright, so I'm going to block Young Wolf. Take 4. By blocking Young Wolf, this changes what they need to sacrifice, at least a little bit. Like if I block the Strangleroot Geist, then they can sack one of these. I don't know. Does this make any sense? Like Strangleroot Geist is the easiest creature to sacrifice because it has Undying. Okay, so this goes in the graveyard now. 1, 2, 3. So I think I want to cling a non-creature. Yeah, I think I need to draw cards more than I need to gain life right now. Uh, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I really need to find a removal spell for Yawgmoth, but but they have Spellskite, so it's probably too late even for that. Yeah, this is a very cool deck. I like it. I know Tom Ross is really into playing this deck, and he's done well in some recent online tournaments with it. Alright, drawing a card in response. And target creature and draw a card. Yeah, I'm pretty sure they could have targeted Young Wolf with that and drawn their deck. Just didn't do that in response instead. There's Fatal Push, but I don't currently have Revolt. And, alright, so that's 5 damage, and they can discard a card to proliferate and make it 6. And the Spellskite protects them from anything else. But I can gain 3 life with the Cling. Get another turn. The steady flow of cards, though, is insane. I got a lot of respect for Yawgmoth right now. But, alright. Not beating that. That wasn't bad for a game 1. So, Plague Engineer. I'll have to look up the creature types of all these cards. Cling to Dust, Ashiok, Surgical. Aether Gust could be good. Abrade doesn't kill Yogg. Gust messes up Cord, or at least buys some time against it. Brazen Borrower is fine. Wow. My deck that's kind of reliant on attacking with 1 power creatures is not great against the deck that puts -1 counters on all the creatures. So maybe... Alright, time to look up some creature types. I have to assume that Young Wolf, or Wolf is a creature type these days, isn't it? So Young Wolf is a wolf. And Strangleroot Geist, I believe, is a spirit. Is a spirit, yeah. Okay, and then the other thing is a zombie, the Growl's Messenger, but that's too big to be affected by that anyway. So, alright, I don't know that I want Plague Engineer. These 4 cards, and then options on Force and Gust. Inquisition and Thoughtseize both look good. Village, Rites, and Ornithopter are looking a little maybe. Sorry, Ornithopter. You're just not good. I think Fallen Shinobi connecting with that might be a bit of a dream in this matchup. Ling's important. Inquisition does hit when I need it to. Lightning Bolt actually doesn't have a whole lot of great targets in the matchup compared to the black removal. And can I shave a Thoughtseize? I think I need all of those. Let me get these cards in before it's too late. I'll submit 61 before I submit the same main deck again. And playing push, Thoughtseize. Maybe it is just Bolt somehow. Oh, Bolt seems pretty important though. Alright, Thoughtseize is out. Sorry, Thoughtseize. Ran out of time to figure this out. I'm not sure what else I should cut. Maybe I'm supposed to take the other Fallen Shinobi out. This is a keep. All day, every day. So I have the Thoughtseize Surgical combo here, but I'm going to lead on Changeling Outcast. In case I draw a ninja, I want to be able to make the tempo play. And they don't do things on turn 1 that I really need to worry about unless they Thoughtseize me. Okay, there's the thing. Yeah, I'm gonna ninja here if I get the opportunity. Like, drawing this card for Ashiok, like trying to find land number 3 for Ashiok is a big deal. Alright, there's land number 3 for Ashiok. Okay, now we've got a game. We know this isn't Fatal Push because they would have done that already. Alright, so I had the chance to disrupt their plan, but instead I decided to execute my own plan, and I think I will be rewarded with that play. But what happens on this turn will determine. I'm going to go for the Thoughtseize. Like, if I can just Thoughtseize and extract Yogg, this game gets pretty easy. Oh, Veil of Summer. Veil of Bummer, more like. Alright, you got me. Changeling Outcast is in. And I can check their hand with Surgical Extraction in the future if that's something I care about. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. They can chord for 2 this turn if they have a land. That's not a number I'm super worried about. Now I'm really glad I didn't Thoughtseize on turn 1 because they were holding up the Veil. Or wait, I went first, right? And they were not holding up Veil. They had that on the second turn. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh god, they're just yogging me. Okay. Hard mode. Turn 3 Yogg's gonna be tough to beat. They do have to sack their Wall of Roots if they want to stop this changeling from connecting. And if they kill the changeling, then that turns on Fatal Push. Deal. And then I get to extract their Yogs. Alright, cool. So I get to Ashiok and Surgical Extraction them. I'm going to Surgical first. Let's get a look at what's going on here. They had a Yogg in hand. Ooze, Geralf's Messenger. Ooze is pretty good. It's a big creature. Teleport, Cutthroat, Geralf's Messenger, 1 Abrupt Decay, Hepatra. There is Plague Engineer in this deck. 1 Spellskite, 4 Chords. Alright, so 2 Geralf, 1 Ooze, Tomb, and Catacombs in the hand. And then I'm gonna hit them with Ashiok once. Like, you can mill yourself with Ashiok, and I do have cards in my deck that care about my graveyard, but I know they have Scavenging Ooze in their hand right now, so I don't want to fill my graveyard with things they can eat. Like, if they just play Ooze right now... Okay, they're playing Geralf right now, that's fine. That lets me connect with my Ninja. Oh, maybe not. Alright, so I get to attack with my Ninja at least. Removal spell? That's not bad. That's an unblockable creature. So I can eat the Young Wolf with Cling to Dust. Now their Ooze can eat my my Cling, but I am drawing extra cards here. Alright, so they have Geralf and Catacombs that they can't use. Alright, they are attacking me. They don't care about Ashiok. Good to know. Here comes the Ooze, I'm sure. Oh, no. Oh, like, they can still Ooze off Wall of Roots and activate Ooze twice. So Wall of Roots was actually, like, free on this turn cycle. Alright, they're just not interested in oozing. They're trying to beat me down. I respect it. That makes Scavenging Ooze a lot worse. Yeah, I probably want to opt first in case I find a removal spell for Wall. Alright, I'm gonna attack with just the Outcast. I think I am going to Ninja. Like, getting to draw 2 cards instead of 1 does matter. Yeah, these messengers are just pretty robust, though. Changeling, Outcast, go back in. I can Force of Negation, but that doesn't actually do anything. Yeah, they worked this Ooze around to a place where it's actually good enough. By just pressuring me with Geralfs, I think they are gonna win this game. Okay, they have a haste creature immediately. but I can block that. But they do put me to 2. And when these things die, or when they come back from being dead, they deal 2. But, I mean, I'm going to take this block that I have. The Wall of Roots is a huge beating. Yeah, the only card in their hand is Verdant Catacombs that they can't use because of Ashiok. See if they eat my Cling right away. Yep. I am surprised. Shocked. Dreadhorde Arcanist, are you helpful? So all of their blocks are trades, but that doesn't really matter. I mean, they can eat Changeling Outcast and get a 3/3 out of their Ooze. But I'm not winning this game if I don't attack. Yeah, I'm dead if I block and dead if I attack, so I might as well attack and give them the chance to mess up. Yeah, this deck that's very good at gumming up the board with resilient creatures is pretty good against my strategy of removing creatures to connect with a 2/2 a number of times. Cool, they didn't get the Ooze involved. Oh, changed their mind. Yeah, the Ooze is a free block, free eat on a creature. A double block, interesting. Okay, so ninjaing in Infiltrator is the same as not doing that. So I just won't. I'm going to line up my blockers to guarantee the kill on Wall of Roots because they get to eat a creature anyway. They didn't even use it. Wow. I am surprised by that. The good news for them is it doesn't matter. I get to play Dreadhorde Arcanist, which can block without dying one of these, and then I can Fatal Push this, and then I just die to this one. There's no way to sequence, like, activate Ashiok, push and response, get it all. Like, I would have to activate Ashiok in response to the Fatal Push, which is not how Planeswalkers work. So, yep, I am slain. Geralf's Messenger is too good. Okay, so a pretty uninspired showing there, but we did learn important things about how to build this deck. Like, number 1, it needs at least 2 more lands in it, minimum. I will work on that. I'll fiddle with the sideboard a little bit and work on the mana base, and the link in the video description will have my updated version. As always, I put my final version in those links, not necessarily the version I played. So I'm going to add some lands to this deck, and then that'll be the list that's posted. We saw games where this worked, and we saw games where it didn't work, and not having Yuriko and not having, more importantly, Thopter Foundry, or not Thopter Foundry, the Retrofitter Foundry. There were a number of games, including that last one, where Changeling Outcast just being a 1/1 that can't block was a huge problem. Which, you know, like I said in the original deck tech, this is being cute. We're playing cute cards to enable a powerful thing. And sometimes you get punished by your cuteness when your cute interaction doesn't line up right. So, sweet deck, Takeon, thanks for sharing it with me. I will update it and get it into the video description. Thanks for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time.